From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Okay, meeting is back in session. Welcome to the general meeting, 2 p.m. of the Kern County Board of Supervisors, August 5th meeting. We begin as we always do with a roll call. Madam Clerk, please.
Supervisor Peters.
Here.
Supervisor Parlier.
Here.
Supervisor Flores.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here, thank you. We will receive at this time, per the agenda, a report on actions taken in closed session. Kendra?
Yes, good afternoon. Following today's AM agenda items, your board heard items 29 through 31 in closed session. There are no reportable actions.
Thank you, Kendra. We will move to the consent agenda now. Consent matters are considered routine and non-controversial by staff, but that is not always true of the public, so we like to give an opportunity to list off the consent matters. They're listed with a capital C, capital A, and they are matters that are considered routine and can be handled by one vote should a member of the public not object to us doing so. The consent agenda begins on page 2 and includes item 3. On page 3, all items listed, 4 through 8. On page 4, items 9 and 11. Item number 13 has been pulled. Excuse me. Item number 12 has been withdrawn, as well as item 13. No, we're pulling it from consent. Excuse my confusion. I'm going to start over. Consent matters on page 4 include items 9 and 11. Item 12 has been withdrawn by the department. We will not consider that today on consent or otherwise. And item number 13 is being pulled from consent, and we're going to hear it later on in the agenda. So my apologies. Also, item number 14 will remain on consent unless otherwise indicated. And finally, on page 5, all items listed, 15 through 20. Are there any members of the public who would like to comment, ask questions, or take issue with a matter on consent? I see Ms. Pasanti taking her place. Nice to see you, Lori.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I would like to speak on item number 3 on the consent agenda.
Please do.
Okay, so we have, my name is Lori Pasante, and I am the director of the Kern Cahuilla chapter of the Sierra Club. We have submitted extensive comments on this continued hearing, the IPG Kern County Holdings Warehouse Plan. The DEIR is insufficient in that it fails to address cumulative impacts and to mitigate to zero. One of the reasons why we make comments of this nature is because we know that if we are not being responsible in our development, that the approximately 6 million people who are projected to move to the Central Valley, many in Kern, within the next 20 to 30 years. And incidentally, demographically, I'm told that the majority of California's children, kids ages 0 to 18, are going to be living right here in the Central Valley. And yet we have the worst air quality in the nation. It's only going to get worse if we don't mitigate to zero, and our comments outline very specific, concrete ways in which that is completely possible and doable and creates jobs. I am very, very strongly in support of our unionized workforce, and I am myself the product of one. So I don't want people to think that I am anti-job or that the Sierra Club is anti-job. We just have to think very carefully about what those new jobs are going to look like. So with that, we stand on our written comments, and anybody wishing to reach out to us to work with us to talk about what those new jobs should look like, Lori.Pasante@sierraclub.org. Anytime, reach out to me. And I know she's not here, but I did want to congratulate Ms. Oviatt on her retirement. And the door is open if she wants to become a Sierra Club member and stand on the right side of history. Thank you.
Lori, you're awesome. I know personally of your longstanding and authentic support of our brothers and sisters in labor. I know that to be true. Sierra Club is lucky to have you, Lori. I believe that. Thank you for your comments. They are in the record, as you know. And without action from my colleagues, we can proceed at this time on the consent agenda.
Chair,
Yes.
I didn't punch in, I apologize. I don't know how to say this. I would like us to contact the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District. We hear a lot of times that we have the dirtiest air in the nation. I don't believe that is true anymore. And you can laugh all you want, but I would like to, I'd like to get a report from them on that. That's not to say being number 2 is great, but we've made, there's a chart on the wall over there that'll show you the tremendous strides that have been made in the last several years due to the people, the individuals and businesses in the Central Valley that have paid a great deal in fees and all kinds of things that have gone into programs that have cleaned the air. And I'd like a report on that if we get a chance. Thank you.
Supervisor Couch, I think that's an absolutely fabulous idea. I'll tell you a statistic that I just find just so striking. We get a lot of heat and we're getting a lot of new attention because our role for the state and the nation in oil and gas production, not to discuss the political merits of what is a very complicated, largely irresolvable matters involving our oil and gas industry, it seems, at least on the political front. But we are 70% of the state's oil and gas production. We're very proud of that. We do the cleanest in the nation and arguably the world. So we've made just tremendous strides in that. But right now we have permitted and coming online enough renewable energy that we are going to be the same number, same percentage in renewables in the state of California. Yes, we're 70% of oil and gas. We are also coming online 70% of the renewables of California. The entire, thank you, Janine, for your love on that. 70% of the state's renewables. We are also the first to launch carbon capture, where we can capture both at the source and eventually from the air. The stuff that makes us not feel great, is harmful, but to Supervisor Couch's point, we really are leading the charge on, the envirotech that makes such things possible, to do what we do cleaner, faster, stronger, and of course in consideration of all these folks here who are families or taxpayers and such a huge part of the fabric of Kern County. So I know these are complicated issues. They are stunningly complicated, but I think it is worth noting that we are doing more than our part. We're one of 58 counties and now 70% of the state's renewables. We really are striving to be the leaders, to be on the cutting edge of the right kind of, envirotech to, lead us into the next stage of energy evolution, which is very exciting for Kern County. So I appreciate that there are the Lori Pasantes of the world. I've known her for a long time from our time at the Public Defender's Office. I know what a champion she is for everyday people. I know what a champion she is for labor. But these matters are complex, and they're deserving of all of our attention and heartfelt consideration. So with that said, thank you, David, for that statement. I think that's spot on. And I would entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have 2 motions in 2 seconds, which is always fun. Okay, cast your vote. Please, gentlemen.
The motion is approved, all ayes.
Okay, fantastic. Moving on to page 2 is our public presentations portion of this agenda. This is reserved for matters, first of all, sorry, to the gentlemen in the crowd, and I saw ladies there too. Would you please stand and be recognized? These are members of our workforce that are building Kern County. Building Kern County. Appreciate you so much. I know you were here for that matter. I think if you want to leave now, we should probably give a moment, given how many there are of you, to make your way. I'm not trying to throw you out, but I don't want to keep you here unnecessarily either. If you got, if you were hurt. Thank you. Love you guys. Thank you. This board supports you and wants to see you working, I assure you that. Thank you. 70% of the room, you know? Okay. Okay, as I was stating, the public hearings portion, or public presentation is reserved for members of the public who would like to address this body on matters that are within our jurisdiction, but not on today's specific agenda. I see a pro here, Janine, making her way. I know you know the rules and know what we can and can't do, frankly, as a limited body. But I appreciate you, your passion, and your championing of everyday people all the time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Janine Adams, Tehachapi. I gave to the clerk a card to pass out to you folks. Remember, I had mentioned that you can call Yvonne Davila anytime you like. I now have provided you with her card. And again, hashtag I am a voter. Seniors, vote. Okay?
Yes,
but back to what I handed out in session 1 that I didn't have time to go through. I'd just like to read into the public record the beginning of it. This again is a draft, and I will be sending you a completed copy. So this table of contents, audit requirement, whatever, findings. Number 2, the board's, Kern County's total completed audits have declined significantly since fiscal year 2019, that's fiscal year ending June 30th, 2019. I asked for that clarification. The board is aware but has largely ignored the repeated warnings from the auditor. Remember, that's the auditor controller of Kern County. We got that clarified for Mr. Couch. Regarding the impact of staff cuts to departments. Audit requirements. Just one of many audit requirements. Government Section Code 25250 requires the board to examine and audit at least biannually. That means twice a year. The financial accounts and records of all officers, i.e. departments, responsible for the care, management, collection, and/or disbursement of money belonging to the county or money received or dispersed by them under the authority of law. In other words, every fee that you collect, every tax dollar that is collected from, starting at the assessor's office and going to the treasurer tax collector. And it just goes on from there. My time is up. I'm 5 seconds over. I ask you to please call Yvonne Davila. Thank you.
We have the card right here. Thank you. Thank you for your due diligence, Janine. Appreciate you. I see Mr. Linfesti making his way down to the podium. It is so good to see you, Paul.
Madam Chair.
I always appreciate and enjoy your perspective. Supervisor Peters, I'm so sorry I didn't see you punched in. Forgive me.
That's okay. I just, go ahead, Mr. Linfesti. I just wanted to respond real quick to Ms. Adams that I knew that I was actually looking at those audits recently, and I saw that they hadn't been posted to the county's website since 2023, and CAO's office just recently corrected that, and that information is available on the county website now. So I just wanted to share that.
From 2019.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Supervisor Peters. Just for the public, we don't normally engage in a back and forth that way from the crowd to it's very hard to manage. You're not on the microphone. You understand. So thank you. We're going to proceed now. It's okay. You understand. It's a process matter. Paul, good to see you.
Hi, Paul Infesti. I reside in Jeff Flores District 3 ward. I didn't have anything prepared, going through some stuff right now. But anyway, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but since there are other broken records that are heard here, I just wanted to address a few things that I've addressed in the past. I do not support a blanket stop of any type of absentee ballot except for special exceptions. I think most people have gotten used to voting that way. And I also don't believe it's possible to hand count ballots at every single precinct 100% with no problems. Because you're not going to get results for a long time. As a matter of fact, in Arizona, I do not, if I was prepared, I could have had the specific county, but they did trial runs with doing hand counting and found out it was not anywhere near as accurate levels as it was when feeding through these machines. They're actually just tabulators. That's my understanding. There seems to be a misunderstanding of what a paper ballot is, but we actually do vote on a paper ballot. It's just that it's tabulated with a machine. It's not like the non-paper voting methods or those who have touch screens, which we did use back about 20 years ago, that did get banned by the state of California because they had high misfires and errors. But they got rid of those, and they instigated very tight controls of the machines that can be used because of that. With I think it was called the Diebold machines, which even the Kern County Credit Union, which I'm a member of, had those machines, and they had to get rid of them because they were glitchy. Nothing deliberate. It's just that they glitched a lot and kept people from voting. So I just want to say that I happen to believe that everything I see that's done through Amy Espinoza's direction I feel pretty secure in our ballot system. So I hope, even though there are adjustments, of course, I hope they don't get too off course. Thank you.
Paul, thank you. It's good to see you. You look good, energetic. Any other members of the public at this time would like to comment on matters that are within our jurisdiction but not on today's specific agenda? Okay, we're going to move on from public presentations to board member announcements and reports. Gentlemen, anything? Okay. We're going to move on to, and we're going to take a matter out of order here. It was pulled from consent, so it's appropriate to handle this matter first. It's item number 13, which is, excuse me, the identification of apparent low responsive and responsible bid, approved contract number 1650, et cetera, with Profit Construction, DBA Superior Construction for Buena Vista Aquatic Recreation Area Regional Park Program Project in an amount not to exceed essentially $3.5 million. I see staff is in place. Michelle, nice to see you. The floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Are you on? Your mic on? Yes. We'll bump it up a little bit.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair,
Thank you, Chair.
members of the board. Michelle Burns-Lusich, Chief General Services Officer. So the item before you, as you mentioned, is to identify the low bidder and award the contract for a project that we have been working on for quite some time. Buena Vista Aquatic Recreational Area Regional Park Program Project. So back in 2023, the General Services Department applied for a grant through the California Regional Park Program, and we were successful and awarded just under $2.7 million. The amenities that were included in the grant application were a shaded picnic area, a splash pad, a fenced dog park, multi-use path. This is just over actually 1 mile of a multi-use path. Floating docks, lake edge erosion control, and also trees and irrigation. The image you see here on this first slide is a rendering of the splash pad that we plan to construct. The next slide here, you'll see a site plan showing, kind of outlining where each of the amenities are going to be installed. I'll start at the top with the multi-use path that will run along Iron Bark Road. And then we have the dog park in the middle of the peninsula that has the majority of our camping sites. And then also there will be 4 floating docks. One of those docks will be ADA accessible, that will be around that peninsula. The splash pad and shade structure will be constructed near the existing basketball courts. And then lake erosion, you'll find there on the east side of that peninsula where as boats pass through by this peninsula, there tends to be a wake that laps up on the side of that and creates some erosion. So we're hoping to put some improvements in there to stop that. The next slide here, you're going to see this image. This is an overhead view of the dog park, so the fenced dog park, so that we have our visitors a safe location for them to let their dogs off leash and play. There'll be a small dog park off there, you'll see that to the left, and a large dog park on the right, and safe access way for those to pass through and let their dog off the leash into the park area. So this, I don't know if I've already mentioned, but this project is in District 2. We held our bid opening on July 17th. The low bidder was Superior Construction. The proposed contract amount is just under $3.6 million. The funding for this project is, as I mentioned, the Regional Park Program Grant at $2.7 million, and as well as General Fund at $900,000. The anticipated timeline for completion of this project is about a year. And then lastly, I just want to make sure that I mention again our Adopt a Park program. This is a good opportunity for the public, the community members to take ownership of their parks, get out in the park, report anything that you may see wrong in the park to our department. We also provide supplies so that they can do cleanup events, graffiti removal, possibly even some murals. So this is the application, which can be found on our website, and look forward to answering any further questions you may have.
What an
Thank you.
exciting project. Very, very exciting. Supervisor Parlier, I'm sure you're going to take all the credit for it. You're up.
Absolutely.
Of course.
So thank you so much, Michelle. Buena Vista, the amenity, the jewel that it is for the county is much like Hart Park. It's just an immense asset for us, not only locally, but regionally. I know that Buena Vista attracts people not only from Bakersfield and across the county, but to our neighbors to the south and north and over on the coast too. They come over to enjoy that wonderful facility. I think these add-ons are just going to be a great asset. I know the people specifically of West Kern, this is going to be very important to them. I thank you for the update. I thank you for pulling it from the agenda. And again, thank you so much. And Adopt a Park, my team was out today with some folks in Ford City, walking that park. We're redoing that one also with a splash pad, but with some volunteers that have that park and just, you know, what we can do to help them as they help us. Thank you so much, and I move staff recommendation.
Okay, we have a motion on a very exciting project.
Second.
And 2 seconds, which is good. We're totally covered our bases. Is there any public comment regarding this matter? Now would be the time to give us your input. Okay, seeing none, we'll turn to the board for a vote. Please cast your votes, gentlemen.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you, Michelle. Keep up the great work. Appreciate you very much. The Adopt a Park stuff is just so cool. Okay, our remaining item for this afternoon's agenda is item number 10. This is a proposed resolution authorizing execution of an indemnification agreement with Kern Valley Healthcare District and the submission of a hazard mitigation grant program application for $37 million, essentially on behalf of Kern Valley Healthcare District for seismic upgrades to the acute hospital building. This is in the 1st District. And I see staff is positioned and ready to present. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. I'm Stacy Kuwahara, your Assistant County Administrative Officer. Today, we're bringing to your board a request to adopt a resolution authorizing the County of Kern to prepare an application on behalf of the Kern Valley Healthcare District to the California Office of Emergency Services for the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program in the amount of $37.5 million for seismic upgrades to the acute care hospital building in Lake Isabella. This grant would allow the healthcare district to make the necessary seismic improvements needed for the hospital to be compliant with Senate Bill 1953, the Seismic Safety Building Standards Program required for all California hospitals. We've also included for your approval an indemnification agreement between the county and Kern Valley Healthcare District. Kern Valley Healthcare District would be eligible to apply for the hazard mitigation grant as a special district. However, they do not have a hazard mitigation plan, a requirement of the grant. It would take up to 2 years for them to develop and have approved their own hazard mitigation plan, at which time the grant cycle would no longer be open. They've approached the county requesting the county apply on their behalf. Kern County does have history with grant applications with the Kern Valley Healthcare District for grants to support their seismic upgrades. In 2019, your board approved the application and an indemnification agreement for a hazard mitigation grant program application through Cal OES for $19.2 million. Kern Valley Healthcare District was not awarded this grant. In 2022, your board approved a resolution authorizing an application on behalf of the healthcare district for the Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities program for $27 million. The amount was later revised to $32.2 million, and the grant was submitted in 2023. Earlier this year, the BRIC grant was ended by FEMA, canceling the application before it was approved. Apologies. As a condition of the grant, Kern Valley Healthcare District has agreed to full responsibility of the administrative tasks associated with the application, including the reporting and compliance requirements. They've committed to providing the required 25% local match, $9.3 million, and have submitted an attestation recognizing the money set aside for this purpose. The healthcare district has agreed to the terms of the indemnification agreement, which is included in your board packet, which specifies indemnifying and holding harmless the county from any and all claims related to the application, administration, compliance, design, or construction of the proposed project. The healthcare district has also provided a maintenance commitment letter affirming they will maintain the facility for the entire useful life of the project upon completion. This is a reimbursement-based grant. Accrued cost will be reconciled by the healthcare district and then reimbursed after review and approval. There is no anticipated cost to the county for this project. By serving as the sub-applicant for the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program on behalf of the healthcare district, the county is assuming certain financial, administrative, and legal responsibilities. Financially, the county may be held responsible for any mismanagement or misuse of funds, cost overruns, or expenditures deemed ineligible by Cal OES or FEMA. Should Kern Valley Healthcare District fail to comply with federal grant requirements, including procurement, documentation, or allowable use of funds, FEMA may seek repayment from the county, regardless of the source of the error. Similarly, if the healthcare district is unable to provide the full 25% local match, the county may be required to cover any shortfall to preserve the grant's eligibility. From an administrative perspective, the county could be held accountable for noncompliance with reporting, audit, and programmatic requirements under the terms of the grant, despite these responsibilities being delegated to the healthcare district. Delays in project delivery, deficiencies in documentation, or failure to meet the federal benchmarks could result in findings or the recovery of grant funds. Although Kern Valley Healthcare District has agreed to assume all administrative responsibilities, the county, as the named sub-applicant, remains the accountable party under federal grant regulations and is ultimately responsible for monitoring and ensuring compliance with all federal requirements on behalf of the sub-recipient. Legally, the county could be exposed to claims arising from the design, construction, or operation of the project, including issues related to environmental compliance, labor standards, or construction-related disputes. Even with the inclusion of an indemnification agreement, the county remains the formal contracting entity with Cal OES and FEMA, and as such, may be named in legal proceedings or audits related to the project. To better understand the risks and precedents associated with this arrangement, county staff have consulted with representatives from Cal OES who have indicated it is a common practice for counties to act as sub-applicants on behalf of the healthcare district and other ineligible entities under the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. While this confirmation provides reassurance, the legal exposure of the county remains a relevant consideration in determining whether to proceed. County Council has reviewed the proposed indemnification agreement and has indicated they are unable to approve to form due to the liabilities it may impose on the county. Although the indemnification agreement has been structured to mitigate these risks and enable the county to act as the sub-applicant on behalf of Kern Valley Healthcare District, the current terms still present an unusually high risk of liability to the county. Recent federal policy changes have introduced more stringent compliance and reporting requirements, placing added administrative and financial burdens on rural healthcare providers, such as Kern Valley Healthcare District. Concurrent reductions in Medicaid reimbursement further compound these challenges, as many of these facilities rely on such funding to maintain operations and serve medically underserved populations. At the same time, available federal and state funding sources remain limited and highly competitive, creating further obstacles in maintaining essential healthcare infrastructure and services. While your board's action today is 100% discretionary, it is important to note that Kern Valley Healthcare District is the sole hospital provider serving the Kern River Valley communities, Wofford Heights, Kernville, Lake Isabella, Bodfish, rural areas located approximately 1 hour from Bakersfield. The hospital provides the full scope of essential health care to a rural area with a high Medi-Cal population, lower economic demographics, and a higher percentage of medically vulnerable individuals. Kern Valley Healthcare District has identified significant areas within its acute care hospital building that do not meet the requirements of the Seismic Safety Building Standards Program. SB 1953 was intended to improve public safety. However, it's faced challenges and delays in implementation due to concerns about cost and the complexity of retrofitting older facilities, and the compliance deadline has been extended multiple times. While the district could hope for another delay, the availability of grant opportunities in the future may be limited. For these reasons, we're bringing this item to your board for consideration of adoption of the resolution authorizing the execution and delivery of an indemnification agreement with Kern Valley Healthcare District and approve the submission of the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program application in an amount not to exceed $37,585,839 for seismic upgrades to the acute hospital building. This concludes my prepared remarks. Representatives from Kern Valley Healthcare District are also here today, and we are available for any further questions you may have.
Very good. Before we go to the public, I see that Supervisor Peters, who really is an expert on this matter, has punched in, as well as Supervisor Parlier, but we'll begin with Supervisor Peters.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to thank staff for working with the hospital district on this. Thank representatives from the hospital for being here and collaborating with the county. This is incredibly important and impactful to the residents up there. Yes, as we all know, healthcare has been having a difficult time in California, especially our hospitals, with issues like reimbursement rates and just a myriad of different challenges. And Kern River Valley in particular, between fires, floods, everything else that constantly seems to be impacting the Kern River Valley. And this is one more thing we didn't need. And recently we discussed in here about power safety shutoffs, how they were impacting residents that are shouldn't say predominantly, but a significant population of medically fragile or economically disenfranchised individuals. And that was impacting things like the a pharmacy, one of the only pharmacies in the area, and people weren't able to go get prescriptions. And I know that the hospital has stepped up, and they're working with the community to provide prescriptions for them, as well as all the other medical services that they're providing. So this really is a vital service for all those residents up there, and I think this is going to be an extremely impactful thing. And again, I just thank staff and as well as our representatives from the hospital for working together on this and trying to bring solutions to the Kern River Valley.
Well said, Supervisor Peters. Supervisor Parlier.
I echo what Philip said. We both represent East Kern and the citizens out there, and this is primarily within his district, but look, the people in my district in East Kern utilize this service too. Anything we can do to support healthcare and your infrastructure needs, I'm all in. And I don't know if Philip wants to make the first, but I'll make the second if that's the case.
Thank you, Supervisor Parley. Well, I will go ahead and do that and make the motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Peters.
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Parlier. Are there members of the public who would like to weigh in on this matter? You don't have to, but you can. Oh, I'm not even thinking of you, Janine. Please come weigh. I'm just saying, you know, there. I think it's, you know, I think this item's moving along the way that it should. But
Yeah,
I see
agree.
Mr. Turnipseed has something to weigh in on too, which I
Excellent.
appreciate. And Janine, your
Thank you.
thoughts.
Janine Adams, Tehachapi. 100%, we need this. 100%, okay? 100%. But again, I go back to the problem not being caused by California's laws. It's been we got some big serious problems coming because of HR 1, the federal stuff. It could cause great problems for your constituents and your constituents and yours and yours and yours. And I have begged, I have pleaded for you to use your political clout to push back on this, but I have yet to see even one of you at anything that supports the community in this area. It's very troubling to me. And why? Why do I have to be the one, the lone voice? Why? I don't know why, but it's important, and I am here. I'm not Chicken Little. Chicken Little, oh, the sky is falling. Well, what if the sky does fall? How will your voters vote next time? How will you explain you did nothing? I'm not Chicken Little. Thank you.
Janine, just so you know, I did reach out to my congressman and attempted to persuade him to vote differently than he did. Is not my, you know, he makes his own decisions, and I respect that. But I want you to know I did do that, and I did it with a full heart and in good faith. And that's just the way it goes sometimes. It's the nature of the business. But just wanted you to know that. And I can show you proof if you'd like. Mr. Turnipseed, I almost called you Supervisor Turnipseed. Janine, I'll be calling Supervisor soon too, I think.
My wife would divorce me if I was a supervisor. And we've
Smart
been married
lady.
47 years, so you're safe. You don't have to worry about me running for anything.
Okay, got it.
I just had a chat with the president of the hospital, because there are some concerns being on the Kern Health Systems Board, what's going on in Washington and money and funds. And he has assured me that nobody's ever called them. You know, I seen them on a list as maybe a threatened hospital. And he said, don't. But the way he explained to me, this is a FEMA grant. So if the world comes to the end 4 or 5 years from now, I just need to make sure for the taxpayers and what we sign up for, if we get all the work done, it's all done, and things happen to the district, I just need to make sure that the county is fully protected. And I've been assured it has been. So we obviously, the people have great need. The rural hospitals in California are under tremendous attack.
Yes.
We've seen what happens in Madera. I've heard from different people, hospitals in Hanford and Tulare and Sanger maybe will maybe not make it through this. So just to protect the county's interest here from the taxpayers, I just had to ask the question. but
Appreciate
it is
it.
definitely needed. We need more healthcare, not less in Kern County. Thank you.
That's correct. That's correct. The poorest Americans in the nation. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate your due diligence and your concern for the sustainability and fiscal integrity of Kern County. It's absolutely crucial, critical. So any other members of the public? I don't see anyone coming forward. Okay. We're going to close the public hearing, return to my colleagues. We have a motion by Supervisor Peters, a fierce advocate for every corner of his district, and Supervisor Parlier, also an excellent representative of his district. They have assured us these are critical needs, and I think this is an excellent and creative partnership to ensure that our people are not completely disregarded and discarded in these difficult times. So thank you, appreciate you both, and thank you to Ms. Kuahara, who is just fabulously brilliant, tedious, technical, and really and just stunning asset to this county. We really appreciate you. Thank you for this. I know this has been a hard issue. Thank you. We have a motion, a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Excellent. Thank you. That brings us to the end of our afternoon agenda. We will adjourn in just a moment and return on August 19th, where we will engage in the very unfortunate goodbye to Miss Lorelei Oviatt on the 19th. And then we have an equally heartbreaking goodbye at the end of the month as well. But I can only handle one right now, even talking about it. So with a motion to adjourn, Supervisor Parlier? Motion. Thank you. We are adjourned.